morning, good afternoon, good evening, good whatever time you are tuning in this week to It's Naturally Not. I hope you're having a great day wherever it is that you're at, and that hopefully you're enjoying some nice weather. If you've been following my my playlist, It's Naturally Not in Nature, you'll notice that I have a lot of shorts where I'm at a frozen lake and I'm at a not frozen lake. I'm at a frozen lake and it's windy and it's sleety, and I'm outside and it's snowy, or I'm outside and there's not a lick of snow. All of that is going on. So bear with me with this weird weather in my It's Naturally Not shorts, because yeah, they're all recent. That's how much things are changing. Like last weekend, a friend of mine and I went into the northern hills, all right, to go to a historical place that her parents used to own, and it was horrible. Horrible. I thought we were going to get stuck in the snow. Then just the other day, we went, a different friend and I, went down into the southern mountains below us, and complete 180. I got some sunburn right here, and it was really windy, but it was warm. It was like 75. I cannot believe the craziness. But anyway, welcome spring. In like a lamb and out like a lion, or in like a lion and out like a lion, or who knows, depending on where you're living these days. But we got some holidays coming up. Easter's coming up. I looked on the calendar and I was like, yikes, I better get some stuff to make Easter dinner. And one component to a lot of people's Easter dinners, besides ham, depending on who you are and how you celebrate, maybe for you it's just a spring equinox dinner, and that's fine too, is some sort of potato dish, right? Potato dishes in the holidays, in the fall, Christmas, Easter, 4th of July. Really, when is a potato dish inappropriate? It's not, right? And you'll notice in an old short that I might run again this winter, I was experimenting with how do you make that famous cheesy potato bake with the shredded potato in it from one of those 9x13s into something smaller, and I said I'm working on it. It's taken me forever. It either comes out too dry, or it came out too liquidy, it came out too oily. For something simple, it has a lot of margin for screwing up, but I finally have nailed it. The cheesy potato casserole, also known as funeral dish, also known as church cheesy potatoes, made with those shoestring potatoes, those, why am I having a brain fart here? Hash browns, right? Now, this winter I had, over the holidays, I had a huge aha moment when I went over to a friend of a friend's house for an impromptu dinner, and they had, the gal had made a 9x13, one of the best I ever had of those cheesy potatoes. And I was like, these are so good. And she's like, have you never had them before? And I said, not for years. And a recipe that I got from a famous Food Network person who will remain unnamed, hers, I'm giving you a hint on the gender, were horrible. So no, I hadn't had any good cheesy potatoes in a long time. She said, here, she wrote it down. And I was like, great. And then I was looking at it when I got home that night, I was like, but it's a 9x13. I mean, BM will complain, even Daniel will complain. It's just too much to get through unless you're a family of 6. And her family is a family of 6 or 7. She's got all boys. Great, great entree to have on hand all the time. But if it's just you and maybe 1 or 2 others, you don't want to be chugging on that whole thing, or you're not going to be able to fit through the door, right, to go to work. So I figured out how to make this smaller dish, and then she taught me this. She goes, don't use the frozen potatoes that take up all the room in your freezer. Use these. Then she sent her little son, into the pantry and gifted me this, and I'm like a creature from another planet. I'm like from Martian, right? I'm like, what is this? And she's like, she must have thought I was truly from a different planet. She was like, you've never heard of these? I'm like, no. And then when I got home, I was like, hey, I called my sister. I said, have you heard of this form of potatoes? Dried, dehydrated potatoes in a giant milk-like carton? And my sister's like, never heard of it. That was another aha moment. Not only can you make these potatoes now with almost all pantry ingredients with this, but you can make a such smaller version that you won't be eating on for weeks. Now, I don't know where you get this. I've never even seen this in the grocery store, have you? But I'm going to guess Sam's Club in this big a size. Okay? or you can order it online. I'm going to keep one on hand forever after learning this. To use this, and you could get one of these and make just plain hash browns. I did, expecting crappy results, and for the first time in my life, I made perfect hash browns. Hash browns is almost impossible to make unless you own a diner, because they don't come out. They come out not done in the middle and then burned on the edges and just never good. Trust me, you get this dehydrated kind, you rehydrate them with water. I don't know why they come out perfect. They just do. So, what I have here today for this small version, cheesy potatoes, is a half a cup. I actually rehydrated a whole cup, but that's not a problem. I'm going to make, the back of the box has all these great ideas for ways you can use these potatoes. I'm going to make a breakfast wrap with this, with scrambled eggs and cheese. Where did I get the idea? On the back of this, right? They have all these great suggestions. Uses a base for nachos instead of tortilla chips. I would have never thought of that. Anyway, I'm not being sponsored by these. I'm just surprised that I've lived for decades and decades, and I've never heard of this, right? Here I go making all these potato dishes like this. Grating my potatoes by hand or buying them frozen. Well, now I know. So anyway, let's go back to the recipe. What you're going to need here is you're going to need a small ramekin. This ramekin is just right for two. Or, and I'll put the measurements down below, a small pan like this. Okay? You could even use, this would work probably pretty well, right? If you don't have cast iron, that's fine. You don't need it for this. The dimensions on these I'll put down below, but this one is 4 inches tall, or 4 inches wide, by 2 3/4 inches deep. And this one is, and I've done both. All winter I played with this recipe, people. This is 6 3/4 across by 2 inches deep. Now, I wouldn't vary too much from that. One of my experiments this winter is I made one in your standard Pyrex glass bread loaf pan. The dimensions were too deep. Didn't work. I would recommend things close to this, and I'll have that again on the bottom. Go ahead and grease this. I've done it with olive oil. Don't do that. It doesn't taste right with this. Grease it with butter. Doesn't matter if it's salted or unsalted. Take your half cup of potatoes. Put some hot water in there, like a cup. Most of it will be absorbed. Cover it with a plate. Walk away. Go do something else. Come back 10 minutes later. Drain them. Right? I drained them with this. You probably didn't even need to do that. I could have just used my hands, honestly. And we'll go ahead and get started. We want a 1/4 of a cup, so that's this much, of the big V cheese, American cheese, Velveeta, right? Is it just me? Does a Velveeta not taste the way it did when you were a kid? More on that, or drop a comment if you agree. We've got that. We're going to need a 1/3 cup, which I haven't shredded yet, but a 1/3 cup of either medium or sharp cheddar. You could use either. You could use Colby, right, or Colby Jack. You're going to need 2 tablespoons panko with a half, or what did I put in here? A teaspoon? I think I put a half a tablespoon of butter in here. You could skip the topping, but why? So that's the topping. You're going to need 2 ice cubes worth of cream of chicken soup. Okay, what do I mean by that? Well, what you could add is a 1/4 of a can to make this dish of cream of chicken soup. But what are you going to do with the other, the other 3/4 of a can? You going to make it into soup and eat it? I don't think so. So what I came up with, you've seen me do it before. This is basically a whole can of cream of chicken soup. Put it in an ice cube tray, let it freeze. Now I got as much as I need, 2 cubes, which is a 1/4 of a can, whenever I want it. Easy peasy, right? You're gonna need 2 tablespoons of sour cream, salt, pepper, garlic powder, and that's everything, I think. You need to have the butter. You're going to need 1 tablespoon of melted butter, okay? And I'll melt that in the microwave. I'll do that right now with this. melted, not soft like you're making a baked good, melted. So if it's, you don't have to worry about, oh no, I melted the butter too much, like I always do when I'm making things. This is already partially thawed out. I'll be right back. I'm going to throw this in the microwave. And give it a little spin. Oh boy, it wouldn't be a show without the girls barking. Hold on right for a minute while I see what the ruckus is. All right, what is going on? Shh, that's just the UPS guy. That's enough. Do you guys, that's it. You're not even in the living room anymore. Rosie. No bark. So, do you guys start screaming like those girls do when the UPS guy comes? And it doesn't even come for you, right? Okay, they're calmed down. Sorry about that. Okay, let's go ahead and get started. Let's get the melted butter out, which is not quite melted, but it's getting there. So I'm going to give it another quickie. You know what? I have a tremendous amount of respect, and so should you, for all those people who have cooking shows, who are the big time, like Ina Garden and people like that, for how many times you got to make something over and over again to get the darn recipe just right. I had to make this all winter long, and you would think just cut everything in half, and then cut it in half again. No, it doesn't work that way with volume of ingredients. I wish it were that easy, but it is not, and that's why it's taken me so long to perfect this. Boy, that butter's stubborn. But I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to add my cream of chicken soup. And you know what? I use a no-namer. I don't think there is any difference in brands for cream of chicken soup. In fact, I think my no-namer brand I like better. So I'll save you some money there. I'll go ahead and add my 2 tablespoons of sour cream. The first mistake when I made it the first time around was too much butter. And you might be thinking, well, Ree Drummond says there's no such thing as too much butter. Yes, there is. It was greasy and it was really kind of not edible. So that's why the small amount of butter in this recipe. A little goes a long way, I think. Perfect. Go ahead and add that. We'll go ahead and add, oh, I forgot to say, the 1 tablespoon or a little bit more, you can be a little more generous, of the chopped onion. I actually have about 1 1/2. You could add a little bit of garlic, maybe a 1/2 clove if you wanted. I'm going to use garlic powder. I'm going to throw in my cubed V-word Velveeta. Okay. And the only thing that's missing is the regular cheese. Now, on the 1/4 cup of Velveeta, I'm going to say a word on that. I don't know if you guys have noticed this, and maybe this product isn't on the shelf anymore, but I could only find it as a fresh pack, and if that's how you want to buy it, this is actually good if you don't use Velveeta often, and I don't because it's not healthy for you, but I use basically a 1/2 of one of these little packs. But if all you have is the gigantic one, go ahead and cut about that much off, cut them into small dice, and go ahead and measure them, right? And you'll have just the right amount because you don't want too much, trust me. Now we're going to do the 1/3 of shredded cheddar. And got my shredded here. It wouldn't matter which way you shredded it, big or small, I don't think. Probably would be better small, come to think of it. But it's going to melt. I don't know. That's up to you. This is a great grater. I got this off Amazon. But let me tell you, I have skinned the crap out of my knuckles. Skinned to the point like have to stop cooking, go wash it out. bandages, right? On a grater. Isn't that stupid? I just thought I had to point how stupid that is. Okay, so you want a third a cup of this. Third of a cup. There we go. No. They are technically barking for absolutely nothing. Hey! Hey! One more bark and you guys are out. No. I mean nothing. No UPS man. Nothing. You have little dogs that do that? I mean nothing. Not even a leaf blowing. Okay, third of a cup. You don't want to go way over with this, so. I mean, I actually grated a little too much. Nobody deserves any cheese, but because I am a saint, there's one for you and there's one for you. Right there. Okay, so put that in here. And then, get this out of the way. Get something a little sturdier than my rubber spatula. We're just going to stir it up. Oh, garlic powder. Forgot about that. Just however much you like. That's probably half teaspoon. Not very much, because remember, this is a small size. A little pepper. Maybe a little onion powder. Why not? The holy trinity of of seasoning: salt, pepper, and well, you know I want to put smoked paprika in here, but I'm not yet. And I'm telling you, this is so good that you're gonna probably want to, even though this is not cooked, you're gonna probably be naughty like me. And because I'm inevitably going to have a bite of this uncooked even. I mean, there's no raw egg in here, so what? Just to make sure you got enough seasoning, because I don't think I put any salt in this. Let's see. I did not put any salt in this. A little bit in. That much. Get a new spoon because you ate off the old spoon. I got the oven already preheated. Put it in either your largish for 2 ramekin, or this. Again, I did it both ways. They both turn out good. I'm going to give this to BM. And if I would tell him that this is his, he wouldn't eat it all because he'd think it's too much. I'm psyching him out here. I'm going to put it in this, and he'll eat all of it. But if you were just having a romantic dinner for you and your whoever, or your best friend, this is good if you want to draw the line and be like, this is your half, this is my half. You can do that. Let's go ahead and fill up this little ramekin. Oh, man. I can smell the garlic powder. And look at it. Fits perfect. No leftover. No waste. Just pure yummy. You could toss it into the oven like that, but why would you do that when you could hit it up with some butter panko? I'm going to do that in a second, and I might put some smoked chili powder on top. But let me put this in the microwave for just a little bit. Now that the girls know that there's some CHEESE, they're all of a sudden humble and quiet and good girls. Aren't you guys? Aren't you guys, you little turds? Okay. The butter's softened. All I'm doing now is just mixing it with the panko. I put in my notes, I think the first time I used Ritz crackers because I had some, and I crushed them instead of using the panko, and that was yummy. But I don't normally keep Ritz crackers or whatever those are, the generic name of those are called. on hand because they're dangerous. I will eat too many of them. So, put the topping on. And, I mean, you're done. Go ahead, set your timer. Once you get it in, and go do something else. Go start some laundry, take a shower, get the grill going. This dish, in my personal opinion, goes with everything. But the best things it goes with, I think, are anything on the grill. A steak, some chicken, barbecue chicken. I think if you're having a bad day and you want some emotional support food, I say eat this for dinner, right? Should I hit it up with some smoked chili powder? You know it. I will. Just a dab, just a dab. And you don't have to. In fact, you can get your color by broiling this for 2 minutes once it's done. So I'm going to put it in my oven. It's already done, ready to go. I'm going to set my timer for 25 minutes. Probably going to be a little less for you because I'm at the higher elevation. That's it, right? That's it. This is so good, you won't be able to put it down, right? I'm not even going to hit pause and then show an after because it basically looks the same once it's cooked. It's just a little bit browner on top. But make this, I'll probably include my big version. If you want the 9x13, this is a really good version to use, this recipe that I got from a friend of mine. If I think about it, I'll put that one down there because I mean Easter's coming and so are all the spring and summer holidays. But most importantly, I'll put down this one that I created because it's so handy to have a little amount of something dangerously fattening as opposed to a lot. But wherever you're at, I hope you're having a great day. Thank you for tuning in. If you hit the little thumbs up below the video, that helps my channel. And if you subscribe, that helps too. If you love this dish, drop me a comment. Maybe you remember your grandma's version. It's been around for a long time. It's been around since I was a little kid. And I'll see you next Sunday. All right. Bye-bye.